This is my tier list of all the centers in NBA Infinite. Starting off the list is Brook Lopez. He's been my favorite center, and I think he's extremely undervalued at just 25,000 coins per card. He shows up regularly in the high-ranked games. I've had over 400 games with him alone. He helped me climb to number 50 on the leaderboards. I personally think he should be costing around 75 to 100k per card, just because of his presence down low and what he brings to the table defensively. His power comes from his blocking and defense, and not only that, he has a solid three-pointer with a great heat map, so he poses a huge threat down low and on the outside. A lot of his moves contribute to his block, like snatch block, where he not only blocks the ball but also can grab the ball. And his exclusive skill allows him to block and at the same time pass it to a teammate all in one swing. I'd say his only weakness is his speed, but if you understand positioning and spacing, he can definitely hold his own. And if you're just starting out, I highly recommend Lopez. Cards are so cheap, you can get him easily to rank 7 and start dominating the leaderboards with him. His presence makes the opponent's team second guess if they want to drive or dunk when he's in the paint. His blocks are so scary and can definitely turn the tides on every game. So with that, we're going to start off strong with S tier. Next is Drummond. He goes for about 5,700 coins on the market right now. And I'll be honest, when I wanted to do a budget series, I played him. Boy, he doesn't do much offensively at all. Most of the time, he just clogs the paint for me. He doesn't really give much to his presence on the court. And he does have a high steal rates. He has these skills like Interceptor, which I've never seen anyone steal a pass before. And also his exclusive ability increases his steal rates. When I tried him for about 10 games, I could not get a steal, and most of the time I get punished for reaching and they easily dunk on me. He is average across his stats, and I just don't see him dominating in any way. So for that reason, I put him in C tier. And he has a non-existent heat map. I haven't seen anyone with this kind of heat map before. So for that reason, I'm moving him to D tier. I'm sorry. He has one of the lowest 3-point stats in the game, and I'm just not a fan. I gave him a shot, but he just couldn't pull through for me. I played against a lot of centers, and I know what they all can do. He just doesn't cut it for me to make it higher on this list. Next is Sabonis, and right now he goes for about 220,000 on the market. He basically has the highest rebounding stat at rank 7 in the game, and rebounding is definitely one of the most important things in this game. So he's definitely going to get the respect. Along with that, I don't see him much at the high ranks, but I do think he is undervalued at what he brings to the playmaking table and creating offense for his teammates. And remember, Sabonis at rank 7 still has the highest rebounding stats than all of the centers, even at rank 7. And he's in the top 3 for 3-pointers of all the centers. He doesn't have much agility moves to shake off defenders, but he has amazing passing like a teleport or those fancy passes that gets to his teammates right away. And his exclusive skill, the download director, basically whenever they receive a pass from Sabonis, their field goal increases by up to 15%. I feel like having a high rebound and setting up for your teammates is very strong with Sabonis. So I'll put him at B tier. I feel like his scoring ability is very limited. He does have a solid 3. I feel like his strengths are basically setting up for his guards and rebounding. So with that, he goes in B. Next is Capela, and he's about 25,000 on the market. And he doesn't pose much of a threat outside of his rebounding, but he lacks in so many other areas. I feel if you can box him out and outposition him in the rebound, he won't be able to pose any threats on the court. He's just around the speed of Lopez, and he's very hard to make plays with. And he's very limited by his finishing moves. So with that, he goes in C tier. And next up is Cat, and he goes for about 420,000 coins in the market right now. He's basically one of the greatest 3-point shooting big men right now. He provides inside defense and shoots threes just as well as Steph Curry. One of his other great strengths as a center is his speed. So he can work around screens so fast, and within a blink of an eye, he does a step back 3. It is ridiculous how good he is on the court. If your team is guarding him, you're always faced with a decision. Either you move your center out to guard the 3, or play him down low to help defensively. Whenever you play Cats on offense, he's always forcing the team to force their center out closer to the 3, which leaves your other 2 guards more space to go in for a dunk or a layup. And I feel he's the only one that can do that out of all the centers. And if the center guarding Cat comes closer to the 3, you're most likely going to be hit with a screen into a step back 3. And if you try to defend the step back 3, you're going to be hit with a deadly crossover, and you won't catch up to his driving speed followed by a Euro step. He also has a ridiculous amount of moves that makes him a threat every part of the court. His heat map is basically all across the court. And defensively, he can grab rebounds. And along with his high speed, he can also use his speed to grab rebounds and go for blocks. I think with all his skills and his moves and his three-point threat, offensively and defensive skills, I think he goes in the broken category. He's so broken as a center, it's almost unbelievable. He's almost like a guard in a center's body. Shout out to Cap for being the ambassador for NBA Infinite. Next up is Jokic, and he goes for about 2.1 million on the market right now. The meta right now is pick and rolls and high scoring, and Jokic excels in this. If you haven't played him yet or haven't played against him yet because he's so expensive for a lot of the new players, you haven't seen anything yet. He has a huge collision area whenever he sets a screen, and whenever he sets a screen, there's a blue circle around him. When his teammates are in that blue circle, they get a speed boost, and also Jokic gets a speed boost too. And not only that, their field goal percentage goes up. His rebounding and passing and offensive abilities are one of the best for the centers. And just like Sabonis, he has a teleporting pass and a flashy pass where it just bullets laser beam to a teammate, and after he grabs a rebound, he can quickly pass it to an open guard right away. So with all that said, I'll put him up there in S tier. Next we got is Harrell, and he goes for about 6,000 in the market. He offers very little with his moves and skills, and I rarely ever see him in the high ranks or when I first started in the low ranks. I rarely see him. And I think if you just spend a little more, you can get a lot more value from other players. He's also the shortest center at 6'7" of all the centers here, and with his average to below average stats, I think that puts him in the D tier. Harrell's defense and rebounding is mid at best. He doesn't have any skills in his toolkit to create a play. He does have some impressive dunks, but outside of the dunks, if he's up against people who can block, it's very hard. It's very hard to execute those dunks. Next is Bam Adebayo, and he goes for about 250,000 on the market right now. He has great dunking abilities, but where he lacks is blocks. And if any position needs to have high blocking, it's the center. He doesn't have a three-point shot and doesn't have many move skills to back up his dunks. And I feel like other centers can do better at his role defensively and offensively. He is decent at defending. He just doesn't bring as much to the table compared to the other centers right now. He might be overpriced right now because I don't see anything that stands out for him. So I'll put him in the... And he is just as fast as Cat. So he's one of the faster centers in the game right now. B tier to C tier. I think a high C tier would be... I think high C tier. He just cannot shoot threes. He just cannot shoot threes, and he costs 250,000 when Cat is about 200,000 more and can do so much more. So C tier for it. Sorry, Bam. Next up is Rudy Gobert. He goes for about 300,000 in the market right now. I just picked him up to rank 3, and he is a defensive beast. Basically, his exclusive makes his blocks even stronger. His defense, rebounding, blocks, and speed on top of that makes him one of the best defenders as a center. With all the pick and rolls and fast guards, he can catch up with them and block all the shots in the paint. And because he's like an upgraded Brooks to me, without the 3 though, but he makes up for it with his speed, I feel like I have to put him in the high S tier along with Jokic. So in between Jokic and Lopez. Very great defender, rebounder with the speed. So I'll put him up there in the S tier for sure. And last but not least, Embiid. He goes for about 1.2 million on the market right now. He's very difficult to play against, but he's also very difficult to learn. So it's like a double-edged sword. He's definitely one of the best centers with his offensive and defensive abilities. He's very agile and nimble and can post up, face up, and take it to the rim, and at the same time shoot threes, all at 7 feet tall. His ankle breaking moves, his post up moves, the step back, the Euro step, the shimmy, it all makes him basically a point guard in a center's body. He has above average speed as a center, and his endless offensive kit, almost like Cat, makes him a huge dominating force with so many ways to attack. And not only that, he's the only center with the ankle breaker skill. Even if you bump into a defender, you can still execute your juking moves and shake off the defender. And with that said, he's definitely going in the S tier, right under Jokic. He's very hard to master, but he's also very hard to defend. He's just so much in there for him as a center. Offensively and defensively, blocking, rebounding, almost everything. Basically a guard in a shooter's body. It's just insane. So there should be like a new position for these, because a lot of these are like, they could be power forwards, they could be even guards. I don't know. They're just so wild now in the NBA. So I just want to put him right there next to Jokic. So there you have it with my tier list of all the centers in NBA Infinite. Let me know what you think. I'm curious to know if there's other center or power forward mains or even guards who play with a lot of centers. Let me know what you think as well. So far I've been doing power forwards and centers, but I'll soon go into the guards later on. Let me know if there's anything you agree with or disagree with. I've mained Brook Lopez for the last 2 weeks. I'm basically going to retire him and probably go ahead and master Gobert or even Giannis next. And also don't forget to join our Discord. We have a mobile gaming community with over 600 members and we're talking everything mobile gaming, not just NBA Infinite. But if you want to find a teammate or talk about Infinite, you're more than welcome. So this is the list of broken to D tier. All these centers I played against, I played as, and this is what I think. So hope you enjoyed it and make sure you check the next video right here.